What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down the top 30 best single-player games you can play on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2 right now in 2026. Whether you're new to the platform or a veteran, there's something on this list for everyone. Let's get into it. The Legend of Heroes Trails Beyond the Horizon delivers a deep single-player JRPG experience built around story-driven exploration, strategic combat, and long-form character development. The gameplay blends real-time field attacks with seamless transitions into turn-based battles, allowing you to weaken enemies through action movement before engaging in tactical command combat, where positioning, skills, and party synergy play a major role. New mechanics like shard commands, awakening boosts, and time control elements add flexibility to how fights unfold, giving both aggressive and strategic playstyles room to shine. Outside combat, the game focuses heavily on world interaction, side requests, bonding events, and optional dungeon challenges that expand progression and world building. The narrative follows multiple protagonist routes, offering different perspectives that gradually connect into a larger, overarching plot set in the continent of Zemuria.
Keep your distance as you're attacking.
Take down! Gotcha!
Don't forget about your charge attack.
Gotcha!
Final Fantasy VII Remake INTERGRADE is a story-driven, single-player action RPG that blends real-time combat with strategic command mechanics, creating a system that feels both fast and tactical. Battles revolve around building ATB gauges through basic attacks and movement, then spending them on abilities, spells, and items using slowed time menus that allow thoughtful decisions without breaking the flow of combat. You can freely switch between party members mid-fight, encouraging synergy, positioning, and smart use of materia customization to shape each character's role. Exploration moves through detailed environments filled with quests, mini-games, and character interactions, while progression focuses on upgrading gear, unlocking skills, and mastering combat strategies. The story follows Cloud Strife, a former soldier turned mercenary who joins the resistance group Avalanche in Midgar to oppose the powerful Shinra Corporation draining the planet's energy.
Not your goddamn rank.
Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Guess that make you a one-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a classic single-player JRPG centered on strategic turn-based combat, immersive exploration, and strong character-driven storytelling. Battles use a tactical grid system, where positioning, movement, and turn order on a visible timeline are essential, making each encounter feel methodical, rather than purely fast-paced. Players customize abilities through the Orbiment and Court system, which allows flexible builds by unlocking spells, stat boosts, and combat options tailored to each party member's role. Outside combat, the game emphasizes exploration across towns, roads, and dungeons, along with Bracer Guild missions that function as side quests and help develop the world and characters while rewarding careful progression. The story follows Estelle and Joshua, two young bracers traveling across the Liberal Kingdom as they take on requests, help civilians, and investigate unusual events while searching for their missing father.
Must have ran away in fear from the great Bracer Estelle.
You're not a bracer yet. Yeah.
We're almost there. An exam, huh?
Come on, it's too late to...
Red Dead Redemption is a single-player game that emphasizes freedom, immersion, and cinematic gameplay set in a detailed Wild West frontier. Players control John Marston as they explore vast landscapes filled with towns, deserts, wildlife, and dynamic events that make the world feel alive and reactive. Core gameplay revolves around third-person shooting, cover-based gunfights, and the Dead Eye system, which slows time to allow precise targeting and strategic takedowns during intense encounters. The game also features horseback travel, hunting, bounty missions, duels, and random side activities that naturally blend into exploration without breaking immersion. An honor and fame system influences how NPCs react, while crime and bounty mechanics add consequences to player choices, reinforcing the sense of a living world. The narrative follows Marston, a former outlaw forced to track down members of his old gang to secure his family's freedom, delivering a grounded, character-focused story about redemption, loyalty, and the fading age of the Wild West through strong dialogue and atmospheric storytelling.
You won't find Parisian high fashion, but it's good for the essentials.
Very convenient. I don't think I've ever seen a ranch with its own store before. Come on!
Come on, boy! And here's the corral. This one's for the horses.
NieR Automata is a single-player action RPG that blends fluid hack-and-slash combat with shooting mechanics and light RPG customization, creating a gameplay loop that constantly shifts in pace and style. Combat focuses on fast melee combos, precise dodging, aerial attacks, and ranged pod support, while the plug-and-ship system allows deep customization of abilities, stats, and combat behavior to suit different playstyles. The game frequently changes perspectives, moving between full 3D action, side-scrolling segments, and bullet hell-inspired sequences, which keeps encounters feeling dynamic and varied. Exploration takes place across interconnected open areas, filled with side quests, hidden lore, and character-focused interactions that expand the world's depth. The story follows android units 2B, 9S, and A2 as they fight machine lifeforms on a ruined Earth in a proxy war fought on behalf of humanity. Through multiple narrative routes and shifting viewpoints, the story gradually explores themes of identity, purpose, and consciousness, delivering an emotional and philosophical journey. Super Mario 3D World is pure joy in game form. It's a 3D platformer where you run through colorful, imaginative levels, collecting stars, stomping Goombas, and using power-ups to reach hidden areas. The catsuit is the star of the show. It lets you climb walls, pounce on enemies, and reach secrets that feel satisfying every single time. The level design is brilliant, constantly introducing new ideas and never repeating itself, making each world feel fresh. It's the kind of game that's accessible enough for anyone to pick up, but has enough depth and secrets for experienced players to dig into. Bowser's Fury, which comes bundled with it, is almost a completely different game. A semi-open world Mario experience on one giant interconnected island, where a corrupted, kaiju-sized Bowser periodically erupts and rains chaos on the world. You collect cat shines to calm him down and unlock new areas. It's creative, surprising, and at around 3 to 4 hours, it's a concentrated burst of some of the most inventive Mario design in years. Hogwarts Legacy is a story-driven, single-player, open-world action RPG centered on exploration, spellcasting, and character progression within a detailed, magical world. Players create their own student, choose a house, attend classes, and gradually unlock spells, talents, potions, and magical abilities that shape their playstyle. Combat is real-time and focuses on chaining spells, dodging, countering, and using environmental interactions to control encounters. While gear upgrades and talent systems allow flexible builds suited to different approaches, from aggressive casting to more tactical setups. Exploration is a core part of the experience, with a large, interconnected world that includes Hogwarts, nearby villages, dungeons, and hidden areas filled with puzzles, side quests, and magical creatures. The story follows a late-joining Hogwarts student who possesses a rare connection to ancient magic and becomes involved in a growing conflict threatening the wizarding world.
Don't get too cocky simply because you had one victory over salad.
Persona 3 Reload is a story-driven, single-player JRPG that combines turn-based dungeon combat with life simulation elements, creating a balanced gameplay loop between daily activities and supernatural exploration. Players follow a calendar system where attending school, building social links, studying, or training directly influences character growth, abilities, and narrative progression. During the night, the focus shifts to exploring Tartarus, a large, evolving tower filled with shadows, where combat revolves around exploiting enemy weaknesses, strategic turn order, and coordinated party actions that can lead to powerful, all-out attacks. Systems like Persona Fusion, skill inheritance, and special abilities add depth to customization, allowing players to tailor their combat approach and team synergy. The story centers on a transfer student who joins SEES, a group that battles shadows during the mysterious Dark Hour, a hidden time period unknown to most people.
What's next?
Now for lame out! I'll give 'em hell!
Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 offer a refined single-player 3D platforming experience built around gravity-based level design, creative movement, and imaginative space-themed exploration. Players guide Mario across a wide range of small planets and galaxies, each with its own gravitational pull, allowing him to run along curved surfaces, leap between planetoids, and navigate environments in constantly shifting ways. Core gameplay focuses on precise platforming, spin attacks, long jumps, and collecting power stars by completing unique missions and challenges within each galaxy. The level design is highly varied, frequently introducing new mechanics, environmental gimmicks, and themed objectives that keep progression fresh and rewarding. Super Mario Galaxy 2 expands the formula with additional power-ups, Yoshi riding mechanics, and a structured world map that unlocks new galaxies as players advance. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is a single-player, open-world action-adventure focused on freedom, exploration, and creative problem-solving across a vast version of Hyrule that spans the surface, Sky Islands, and the underground depths. Players control Link as they climb, glide, and travel freely while discovering shrines, dungeons, puzzles, and dynamic encounters scattered throughout an interconnected world designed for non-linear progression. Core gameplay is built around physics-driven systems and new abilities such as Ultra Hand, Fuse, Ascend, and Recall, which allow players to construct vehicles, combine weapons and materials, move through vertical spaces, and manipulate objects in time to solve puzzles or approach combat creatively. Combat blends melee weapons, bows, abilities, and environmental interactions, while cooking, resource gathering, and equipment management add light RPG and survival elements. Metroid Prime Remastered is a first-person action-adventure game where you play as Samus Aran, a bounty hunter exploring a massive alien planet called Talon 4. The game drops you into a world of interconnected environments, ancient ruins, underground caves, volcanic craters, and icy caves. And the whole point is to explore, figure out where to go, and unlock new abilities that let you access areas you couldn't reach before. You collect upgrades like the Grapple Beam, Thermal Visor, and Morph Ball, which turn Samus into a rolling sphere that squeezes through tight passages. Combat involves switching between different visors to expose enemy weaknesses and locking onto targets while constantly managing your resources. There's barely any hand-holding. The game respects your intelligence and lets you piece together the story through environmental details and lore logs you scan throughout the world. The atmosphere is dense and immersive, and exploring a new room always feels like a genuine discovery.
Recorded to logbook. Recorded to logbook.
Mio, Memories in Orbit is a Metroidvania-style platformer centered on exploration, fluid movement, and atmospheric sci-fi storytelling set within a massive, abandoned space ark. Players control Mio, a small robot who awakens with fragmented memories and begins exploring interconnected biomes filled with mechanical threats, environmental puzzles, and hidden routes that gradually open as new abilities are unlocked. Gameplay focuses on precise platforming, aerial mobility, grappling mechanics, and fast, directional combat, while upgrades and modifiers allow players to customize movement and combat efficiency to suit different playstyles. Progression is driven by backtracking, ability-based traversal, and discovering shortcuts that expand access to previously unreachable areas, encouraging curiosity and map mastery. Boss encounters emphasize pattern recognition, timing, and effective use of mobility skills rather than brute force. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a 2D platformer that belongs in the conversation with the best Nintendo has ever made. You play as Donkey Kong and can team up with Diddy, Dixie, or Cranky Kong as you fight through 5 island worlds taken over by the Snowmads, a Viking animal tribe that has frozen DK Island. The gameplay is classic run-and-jump platforming, but executed with incredible precision. You barrel roll through enemies, ground pound, swim through underwater sections, and ride minecarts and rocket barrels through chaotic set-piece levels. Every world has a distinct theme and a completely different visual and musical identity, and the level design constantly introduces new ideas without ever repeating itself. The game is genuinely challenging in the best way. Deaths feel fair, you always understand what went wrong, and nailing a difficult section feels earned. Funky Mode adds Funky Kong as a playable character who has extra abilities and more health, making it accessible for players who want a slightly easier experience. The Rogue Prince of Persia is a single-player, 2D action roguelite that emphasizes speed, mobility, and skill-based combat within a run-based progression structure. Gameplay is built around fluid parkour mechanics, allowing the prince to wall run, wall jump, vault over obstacles, swing across gaps, and chain acrobatic movements seamlessly during both exploration and combat. Battles focus on fast melee attacks, evasive dodges, kicks, and the use of different weapon types that can be swapped mid-run to adapt to enemy patterns and situations. Each run takes players through dynamically structured biomes filled with traps, platforming challenges, and evolving enemy encounters, while permanent upgrades, new abilities, and equipment unlocks gradually expand strategic options and survivability. Exploration rewards experimentation with movement routes and combat synergy rather than linear progression. The story follows the prince defending his kingdom from an invading force, using a mystical time loop ability that revives him after defeat, slowly revealing lore, character motivations, and the unfolding conflict through repeated runs and environmental storytelling. Astral Chain is an action game developed by Platinum Games, where you play as a rookie officer in a futuristic city under threat from interdimensional creatures called Chimera. The core mechanic that sets this game apart is the Legion system. You summon a chained creature that fights alongside you, and you control both your character and the Legion simultaneously. You can send the Legion to attack enemies, create barriers, catch projectiles, and solve puzzles, all while fighting with your own weapons at the same time. Battles become this fascinating dance of managing 2 fighters at once and chaining their actions together for big damage. The game also has investigation sections, where you explore crime scenes, talk to survivors, and gather clues in a way that breaks up the combat and builds the world. The story involves a desperate fight for humanity's survival, and goes in directions that feel genuinely unpredictable, with a cast of characters who are well-written and memorable. Visually, it looks like a playable anime, with a sleek, neon-drenched sci-fi aesthetic that is just great to look at. Dynasty Warriors Origins is a single-player hack-and-slash action game centered on large-scale battlefield combat, strategic objectives, and character-focused storytelling inspired by the Three Kingdoms era. Gameplay revolves around fighting through massive enemy armies using fast combo chains, powerful special attacks, dodges, parries, and weapon skills while moving across wide maps filled with bases, officers, and shifting battle conditions. The combat system emphasizes crowd control and momentum, encouraging players to read the battlefield, eliminate key generals, and support allied forces to influence the flow of war. In addition to action mechanics, players can upgrade weapons, unlock skills, and develop their combat style through progression systems that add depth beyond simple button mashing. Missions often include dynamic objectives and tactical decisions that affect how battles unfold. The story follows an amnesiac warrior traveling across a war-torn land, becoming involved in major conflicts and alliances while searching for purpose, gradually uncovering memories, political tensions, and the larger struggle to bring stability to a divided nation.
rescue all who are oppressed. The heavens are on our side.
Yakuza Kiwami 2 is a story-driven, single-player action-adventure that combines beat-em-up combat, open-world exploration, and cinematic storytelling within detailed urban districts. Players control Kazuma Kiryu as he explores lively city areas filled with side quests, minigames, sub-stories, and interactive activities that make the world feel dense and immersive. Combat is real-time and focuses on fluid combo chains, powerful heat actions, counters, and environmental attacks that allow players to use surroundings creatively during fights, while skill upgrades and progression systems gradually expand Kiryu's combat capabilities. Exploration plays a major role, encouraging players to engage with optional content such as arcade games, karaoke, and character-driven side stories that add depth to the overall experience. The narrative follows Kiryu, a former Yakuza drawn back into the criminal underworld after rising tensions between major factions threatened to erupt into a large-scale conflict, leading him to confront powerful rivals while protecting those close to him and navigating themes of loyalty, honor, and the consequences of his past. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is a story-driven, single-player action-adventure that blends open-world exploration, cinematic crime drama, and real-time brawler combat set in vibrant entertainment districts. Players alternate between Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, each featuring distinct fighting styles that can be switched during combat, allowing varied combos, counters, grabs, and powerful heat actions that use the environment for impactful finishers. The combat system is fast, responsive, and focused on close quarters encounters, while skill trees and ability upgrades gradually expand each character's techniques and combat depth. Exploration plays a major role, with dense city areas filled with sub-stories, minigames, side activities, and random encounters that make the world feel alive and immersive. Progression naturally balances story missions with optional content, encouraging players to engage with the sandbox rather than rush through the main plot. The narrative follows Kiryu, a young Yakuza framed for a crime he did not commit, and Majima, who becomes entangled in a separate but connected underworld conflict. Dragon Quest I and II HD 2D Remake is a single-player, turn-based JRPG that modernizes two classic adventures while preserving their traditional structure and strategic pacing. Gameplay revolves around classic, menu-based combat, where players choose attacks, spells, and abilities while managing resources, party roles, and enemy weaknesses in tactical encounters. The remake enhances progression with quality-of-life improvements, refined balance, and additional systems that make exploration and combat smoother without losing the series' core identity. Players explore a large, interconnected overworld filled with towns, castles, dungeons, and hidden secrets, encouraging gradual progression through leveling, equipment upgrades, and careful planning. Battles include multi-enemy encounters and strategic spell usage, emphasizing thoughtful decision-making over fast action. The story retells the foundational Erdrick saga, where a heroic descendant sets out to defeat a great evil threatening the land in the first adventure, while the second follows royal heirs uniting against a rising darkness, delivering a classic fantasy journey focused on legacy, heroism, and the origins of a legendary world. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the best 2D Mario game in years, and a serious argument for being the greatest entry in the entire 2D lineage. You travel through the Flower Kingdom, a new world where Bowser has attached himself to the Wonder Flower Palace and is causing reality to warp and twist across every level. The Wonder Flower mechanic is the heart of the game. In almost every level, you find a Wonder Flower that triggers a transformation, turning the level into something completely different and unexpected. Enemies might grow enormous, the entire perspective shifts, the level floods, or you transform into a completely different creature. No two Wonder events are the same, and the surprise of triggering each one never gets old. The base platforming is tight and excellent, with new power-ups like the elephant fruit, which turns you into a massive elephant that can swing its trunk and carry water, adding fresh mechanics to a formula that could easily feel stale. The badge system lets you equip passive abilities that change how you move and interact with levels, adding a layer of personalization to how you play. Luigi's Mansion 3 is an action-adventure game where you play as Luigi, who has been tricked into staying at a haunted hotel, and now has to rescue his friends, including Mario and Princess Peach, floor by floor. Each floor of the hotel is its own themed environment, from a medieval castle to an Egyptian tomb to a rooftop garden, and you clear them by vacuuming up ghosts with Luigi's upgraded Poltergust G00. The gameplay involves stunning ghosts with your flashlight, grabbing them with a suction, and yanking them around until their health runs out. It's satisfying in a physical, tactile way that never really gets old. You also get a slime clone called Luigi that can squeeze through grates, walk through spikes, and reach places Luigi can't. And switching between the two to solve puzzles is clever throughout. The boss fights on each floor are genuinely creative and memorable, each one requiring you to figure out a unique trick to expose their weakness before you can vacuum them up. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings back two of the most beloved JRPGs of the PS1 era in a clean, updated package that respects everything that made the originals great. In the first game, you play as the son of a celebrated general who finds himself caught on the wrong side of a corrupt empire, reluctantly becoming the leader of a liberation army. The second game deepens everything. A young soldier gets pulled into a brutal war between two nations, and the story goes to genuinely dark, emotional places that were rare for games of that era. Both games use a turn-based combat system with 6 character parties, and part of the appeal is the 108 Stars of Destiny. That's 108 recruitable characters you can find and bring into your army across both games. Finding all of them, learning their stories, and choosing who to bring into battle gives both games a depth that holds up remarkably well. The HD Remaster updates the sprites and backgrounds while keeping the pixel art soul intact and adds quality-of-life features like faster battles and autosave. Octopath Traveler 0 is a single-player, turn-based JRPG that builds on the series' strategic foundation with expanded party mechanics, deeper customization, and a strong focus on exploration and progression. Combat revolves around the break and boost system, where players target enemy weaknesses to shatter defenses and store turns to unleash powerful chained actions. While the ability to manage larger party formations with frontline and backline positioning adds tactical depth and synergy between characters. Players can recruit numerous allies, customize skills, and develop flexible team compositions suited to different battle scenarios. Exploration takes place across a vast world filled with towns, dungeons, quests, and hidden secrets, encouraging gradual progression through leveling, gear upgrades, and narrative objectives. A notable feature is the town building system, where players rebuild the protagonist's destroyed village by placing facilities, recruiting residents, and unlocking gameplay benefits.
Ready. How's that?
Time to strike! Now's the time!
Now or never.
The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening is a reimagining of the beloved Game Boy classic, rebuilt from the ground up with a unique toy box art style that makes the whole world look like a miniature diorama come to life. You play as Link, washed ashore on a mysterious island called Koholint after a storm, and your goal is to wake the windfish sleeping at the island's peak so you can find a way home. The gameplay is classic top-down Zelda. You explore an interconnected world, Enter dungeons packed with puzzles and enemies, collect items that expand what you can do, and defeat bosses to progress. The dungeon design is creative and satisfying, with each one introducing a new mechanic that gets used in interesting ways throughout. What makes this game linger is its atmosphere. Koholint has a dreamlike, melancholic quality to it, and the story slowly reveals something strange and bittersweet about the island and everyone on it. The remake adds a chamber dungeon mode, where you can arrange dungeon rooms into custom layouts, which adds replay value beyond the main adventure. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is a story-driven, single-player, turn-based JRPG that combines classic strategic combat with large-scale exploration and an episodic narrative structure centered on time travel and world restoration. Battles follow traditional menu-based mechanics, where players use attacks, spells, and abilities while managing party roles, turn order, and enemy weaknesses, with modern refinements that improve pacing and overall flow. The expanded vocation system allows characters to switch classes, learn unique skills, and create flexible builds that evolve over time, adding long-term depth to progression. Exploration is a core pillar, as players collect map fragments to unlock portals to past eras, visiting different islands in their original timelines to resolve local conflicts and gradually restore the present world. The story follows a young hero and his companions from the isolated island of Astard, who discover that many lands vanished due to an ancient threat, leading them on a journey across time to revive lost civilizations, uncover hidden history, and piece together a larger mystery shaping the fate of the world.
Weak, pathetic humans, kneel before my might!
Breath of the Wild is the game that redefined what open-world design could look like, and playing it now on Switch 2 still feels remarkable. You wake up as Link with no memory, and the entire kingdom of Hyrule stretches out in front of you. Mountains, forests, ruins, deserts, volcanoes, and almost nothing is blocked off from the start. You can go anywhere, climb almost any surface, and approach every problem with creative freedom. The physics and chemistry systems are the foundation of everything. Fire spreads, metal conducts electricity, objects have weight and momentum, and combining these systems to solve puzzles or take down enemies is endlessly satisfying. The 4 divine beasts serve as the main dungeons, each one a massive mechanical structure you rewire and navigate to unlock a powerful ability. Shrines scattered across the world are bite-sized puzzle rooms that reward exploration and experimentation. The story of what happened to Hyrule and why Link lost his memory unfolds through memories you find scattered around the world, and it's told in a way that makes exploration feel meaningful. Hades is a roguelite action game set in the Greek underworld, where you play as Zagreus, the son of Hades, trying to fight his way out of the underworld and reach Mount Olympus. Every run, you battle through procedurally arranged chambers, collecting boons, gifts from the Olympian gods like Zeus, Athena, and Artemis that add different effects to your attacks and abilities. The combat is fast, precise, and incredibly fluid, built around a core weapon you choose at the start of each run, and the boons you layer on top of it. Different god combinations create wildly different playstyles, so no 2 runs feel the same. When you die, and you will die, you return to the House of Hades, where conversations with the gods, the staff, and other characters advance the story. The writing is genuinely exceptional. Every character has a full arc, the dialogue is witty and warm, and the relationships Zagreus builds across dozens of runs give the repetition a narrative purpose that keeps pulling you back. Death is part of the story, not just a mechanic. Hollow Knight Silksong is the long-awaited follow-up to one of the most acclaimed indie games ever made, and it absolutely delivers. You play as Hornet, a swift and acrobatic warrior who finds herself in a massive new kingdom called Farloom, a world of silk, bells, and towering citadels filled with strange creatures. The gameplay is a Metroidvania. You explore a massive, interconnected underground world, find new tools and abilities that let you access new areas, and take on bosses that test everything you've learned. Hornet plays very differently from the knight in the original game. She's faster, more aggressive, and her needle and thread moveset gives combat a rhythm and flow that feels unique. The world is dense with secrets, hidden passages, and lore fragments that you piece together gradually. The difficulty is real and demanding, especially in boss encounters, but the controls are tight enough that every death feels instructive rather than unfair. Hades 2 takes everything that made the first game extraordinary and builds something that feels even more ambitious and fully realized. You play as Melinue, the daughter of Hades and sister of Zagreus, a witch trained from childhood to fight her way through the underworld and confront the titan Kronos, who has conquered the realm of the dead. The combat is deeper than ever Melinue has access to, a wider range of weapons, a new hex system that charges up powerful abilities using magic, and boon combinations that are more complex and varied than the first game. The runs feel different every time because the weapon selection and boon options create enormous space for different builds and strategies. The world is bigger too, splitting between the underworld and a surface world connected to Olympus, giving the game a sense of scale that the original didn't have. The storytelling follows the same structure. Every death brings you back to the crossroads, where conversations advance character arcs and relationships deepen over dozens of runs. But the cast is larger, and the emotional threads feel even more layered.
They're slowing down. No!
Donkey Kong Bananza is the first fully 3D Donkey Kong game in decades, and it arrives as one of the most joyful, creative, and technically impressive games Nintendo has ever made. You play as Donkey Kong on a mission to recover stolen golden bananas, traveling through a world that is completely destructible, and we mean completely. Almost every surface, wall, platform, and structure in the game can be punched, torn apart, and smashed, and the entire design of the game is built around that destruction. You dig through layers of terrain, punch through walls to find hidden paths, rip chunks of the environment apart and throw them at enemies, and carve your own routes through levels in ways that feel genuinely empowering. The game introduces a new partner character who works with Dika to unlock transformations and abilities that change how you interact with the world. And the chemistry between the two carries the lighthearted story with real warmth. The level design is vertical and layered, encouraging exploration in every direction, including downward, and finding secrets rewards players who dig deep, sometimes literally. Combat is physical and satisfying, built entirely around Dika's raw strength and momentum. That's the full list. Every single player game on here is worth your time in 2026. Let me know in the comments which one you're playing right now. Like the video if it helped, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.